Take my hand. I'll lead you into death. By a whisper in the shadows, on EU3. Episode 43. Chapter 24. Epilogue. Ground Zero slammed the thief against the wall. He was fuming. He felt ready to murder. Why today, of all days, did every petty fucking thief decide they wanted to come out and play? And it wasn't even all day. The beginning of his patrol had been boring as hell. Katsuki had been begging for some action to release some steam. Instead, every criminal and their grandmother decided to make their appearance when Katsuki was in his final hour of patrol. Now he was 20 minutes overtime and running late. He stood over the unconscious thief, foot tapping as he waited for the police to show. He did his best to smile at the lady who thanked him for getting her purse. He didn't think it came across very sincere. As soon as the blue lights flashed, he was moving. Ground Zero? You can't just leave. He blasted into the sky, keen on not meeting anyone's eye. Villain activity be damned. He'd fill out whatever paperwork later, deal with the repercussions then. They were the least of his concerns. He landed hard, wincing, and hopping as pain shot up his knees. You know, you're only meant to use your quirk during patrol. Katsuki cracked his back and turned to face his old teacher. He was trying to look stern, but Katsuki could see the smirk building. He had long learned the difference between Aizawa and the act he put as a teacher. They were widely different, but there were hints. Technically, I just got off, he drawled. Aizawa rolled his eyes before walking away. Katsuki followed close behind. He stared up at the Hero Commission headquarters. Never before had the building looked so daunting. He jumped when Aizawa put a hand on his shoulder. You seem tense. Katsuki swallowed hard, lowering his head. I just want to see him. Aizawa gave his shoulder a squeeze. Soon, kid. Soon. 5 years. 5 years since Nezu organized a commission-approved program for Izuku. 5 years where Izuku was healed, educated, trained, rehabilitated, and approved to re-enter into society. 5 years since Katsuki had seen him. 5 years where Katsuki felt he couldn't breathe properly, where half of him was missing. He didn't just want to see him. He was desperate for it. It was different before, when Izuku had been taken. Then he searched. He looked everywhere for his lost friend. Even after Izuku's funeral, he kept searching long after everyone told him Izuku wouldn't be coming home. Then he mourned. When he finally accepted Izuku was gone, a part of him died as well. And then Izuku came back, and Katsuki felt like he was whole again. This was different. Katsuki didn't need to search this time. He didn't need to mourn. He knew where Izuku was. Walked past the building enough times, they banned him. Assholes. Like he was going to try and break in. He wouldn't risk Izuku like that. Still, it hurt. He was right there. All Katsuki had to do was reach out. But he was blocked. A wall towered in between them, guarded by sense and protection. And for some reason, that hurt so much more than Katsuki believing Izuku wouldn't come home. It took a while to understand why he wasn't allowed to see Izuku. At first he had rioted. Yamada had brought the news to them 1 week after Izuku had woken up. It was supposed to be Aizawa, but he was too busy skewing in his own rage. Izuku hadn't even recovered fully when they were told he would be taken away again. It was a selfish anger that Katsuki and Aizawa felt. They didn't want to let Izuku go. Technically, this was part of Izuku's punishment. He would no longer be a ward of UA, even though he had Nezu personally tutoring him. Nor would he be officially arrested. He had teachers, trainers, doctors, and the best damn therapist they could get their hands on. Katsuki had met her a couple of times, to suss her out, interrogated the shit out of her. She laughed at his brashness. He accepted she would. Aizawa and Yamada went to visit him too, to help with his rehabilitation. It was hard for them to leave him every time, but they assured Katsuki he was being well taken care of. At first, Katsuki was allowed to visit. According to reports, Izuku's moods would become increasingly positive whenever he knew Katsuki was coming, though would drop to exponential lows whenever he left. Often it would send him into panic at being left behind, believing he'd been taken again. Reports from Izuku's last time with Akio mentioned a hallucination at Quirk. When Izuku woke up from the hospital, he was confused why Katsuki was so uninjured. He told him what he saw, when Akio made him see. Katsuki began hurt and dragging away. Izuku's panic made sense. Katsuki understood why he had prevented from being seen Izuku. In the long run, it would help Izuku's recovery. It didn't mean he had to like it. Still, he wrote him letters. He never sent them. Too cowardly. But they piled in his apartment. Maybe one day he'll sit down with Izuku and read them to him. Maybe. A heavy body hit his back, pulling him from his thoughts. Kitty! Eri squeezed into his ear. He maneuvered her over his shoulder, spinning her upside down and relenting in her laughter. He couldn't help but smile himself as he set her back on her feet and ruffled her hair. Eri, how you doing, kid? A sheet of paper was thrusted in his face in response. A report card. All A's. His smile widened. Not only is today like the most exciting and best day ever, I am top of my class. She bragged. Her cockiness and competitiveness I'm convinced she gets from you, Shinsou announced. He sauntered over to their group, Yamada and Kirishima with him. They had decided on only a few faces to greet Izuku, not wanting to overwhelm him. Tsukachi would bring him out, and after that, it was only the Aizawa Yamada family, with Katsuki and Kirishima. Katsuki had asked Shitty here to come along. He had been more than ecstatic. Honestly, his friend deserved a medal for putting up with Katsuki. Kirishima had been the main person keeping his head screwed this past years, picking him up when he fell. It's true, Yamada put in. We had to hide Toshi's report cards so she'd stop comparing. Katsuki snorted at Shinsou's forlorn face. She did that with us too. Kirishima laughed. Maybe a whole group chat, just so she could compare results. They laughed together, easing into conversation. It was a nice distraction. The door slammed open behind them. Katsuki stiffened. He turned slowly. Red met green. Katsuki's breath hitched. The other boy's face lit up. Kachan! Katsuki was running. They collided together, Izuku throwing himself into Katsuki's arms. Izuku had grown. So much so, it took Katsuki by surprise, landing him on his back. He gasped and laughed and squeezed the younger boy to his chest. Katsuki felt like he could finally breathe again. They pulled back, both smiling widely. Izuku looked so much better, happier. His good eyes shone as bright as Katsuki remembered, his skin glowing and alive. Katsuki's fingers ghosted Izuku's healed scars. Not even then could they mar his joyous beauty. Hi, Izuku whispered. Katsuki smiled wider. Hi. A loud squeal from behind had Izuku shooting up. Katsuki grunted as he was pushed down, Izuku leaping over him. Eri! He called, running to her and sprinting her around. Izuzu! She squeezed. He let her down, twirling her in circles. Look at you. Oh my god. You've grown so much. I mean, I've seen the pictures, but wow. Eri giggled before pulling him back into a suffocating hug. She wasn't the only one who had grown. Izuku hadn't gotten much taller, but he had gotten toned up. Rippling muscles seen through his shirt. Everything about him looked so much healthier. Come on, I want in on some of this action hugging. Kirishima courted, lifting Izuku and Eri into a hug. Katsuki rolled his eyes as his buffoon of a friend. Kiri! Izuku laughed. And Kami, that was a sound Katsuki would never get sick of. Wow, you've grown too. Shinsou snorted. Grown is an overstatement. I don't know what this man eats, but it'll be nice if he left some for the rest of us. Izuku fell against his hug, squeezing him tight. Toshi! He breathed. He looked up as Aizawa stepped behind Shinsou, lifting an arm out. Izuku moved to him. Aizawa pulled his head to his chest, pressing his face into Izuku's curls. They were falling into his eyes. Katsuki would have to give them a trim. Yamada came up behind and grabbed them both. Group hug! He yelled, blindly reaching for his son, pulling him in as well. Eri and Kirishima jumped in. Failing annoyance, Katsuki let himself be dragged over. He really didn't mind. He liked it a lot. Izuku. Sukachi called from behind them. They all turned to him, curious. Don't you have something to announce? Izuku sucked in a breath, stepping away from the group. He held up a small card. I passed. Congratulations erupted. Katsuki stared as Izuku got dragged around again. His chest felt warm and tight. Izuku skipped over to him. Smile plastered on. Did you hear, Katchan? I passed. Katsuki stared at Izuku, words processing. Passed. Izuku's smile somehow got wider. The hero license exam. His voice was soft and giggly. I'm gonna be a hero, Katchan. We're gonna be heroes together. Katsuki blinked. Once. Twice. We're gonna be heroes together. He took Izuku into his arms and spun him around. Laughter bubbled out of him. We're gonna be heroes together. Wonder duo. Of course you passed. He whispered into Izuku's hair as he set him down. He recognized that feeling in his chest now. It wasn't just happiness. It was pride. He squeezed Izuku's cheeks and ruffled his hair. Izuku squawked at him, batting his hand away. What's your hero name gonna be? Eri asked, bouncing over to them. You might not get it, but it's something really special. Something I hold really close to my heart. He handed Eri his hero license card. Even when she announced it to the group, it didn't fully register. Not until Izuku had slid the card to Katsuki again. He pulled it close and whispered in his ear. Katsuki's eyes widened. His heart stuttered. The feeling was back. Red met green. They smiled. Deku. What was it people said about fireworks? Oh my god. I love that. I love that. Part of me wants there to be like a second part where it's like BKDK. But like, because like the BKDK is very much there. I think it's very much if you squint, it's there. It's just me being obsessed with BKDK. I just finished a BKDK fic. I didn't finish it because it's still an ongoing fic. I normally do not touch ongoing fic. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't touch ongoing fics, right? Mainly because I like to binge read, right? Mainly because, mind you this, I read thousands of fics, right? And if I sat down and read one, if I read ongoing fics, I would mix them up together in my mind, and I would forget the plots, and it would be infuriating. So for the most part, I don't like reading ongoing fics, but this fic was really long, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get to the end of it, right? Like, it'll take a while. Yeah, no, I read it in one day. I'm shocked. It was really long. Like, I don't think you'll understand how long this shit was. Like, this shit was 3 books worth, and I read it in one fucking day. I'm concerned. That's all I'm gonna say. But I really, really liked this. This was really nice. I really appreciated this fic. It was cute. I loved it. And as I've mentioned before, the next fic that's gonna take over this one is... Give me a second. Fucking shit is loading. But it is a Shindeku fic, I believe. Give me a second. It's loading, guys. Guys, please. Be patient. It's loading. Be patient, guys. It's loading. Here. No, it's not this one. It's this one. There you go. The Heroes and the Hidden. Now, it's not... I would classify this as a gen fic that has Shindeku in it. Mainly because I don't think it's going to be mainly just Shindeku. Unless we get 200,000, almost 300,000 words of pure Shindeku, which I genuinely don't think is going to happen, right? But The Heroes and the Hidden by Kirikwat. When Izuku manifests a quirk in the moment of stress, he ends up in a dangerous situation. When does a child become a monster? When does a wannabe hero become a villain? When he catches the eye of Shigaraki, life will never be the same. Completed, first fic, it shows. Trigger warning, self-harm, suicide, gore. I love this. I'm gonna have so much fun doing this. gonna have so much fun doing a lot of these. It's still not Valentine's Day for me, believe it or not. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day for me, so in 2 hours. Sorry if I don't sound as energetic as I normally do. Storm recently got neutered, and it has been a pain in the hell to get him down. In the sense of having his cone of shame on, he keeps taking it off, he keeps trying to lick at his wound, and I'm really concerned. Not to mention, I liked sobbing in my bed. I was like sobbing this morning because when I went to go give him his pain medicine, which, mind you, it's only 1 dosage and it's through a syringe. When I went to go give him his pain meds, it went everywhere but his mouth, so he's actually gone the past couple of hours without his pain medication. So I felt horrible. He does not seem to be in any pain. Fucker's running around everywhere. Fucker's biting everything. Fucker's making my life a living hell. Loki wished the drugs. I have given him catnip multiple times just to mellow the fuck out. And he mellows out and then he comes right back and it's like, can I keep him drugged? Please. Please. Right now he's sleeping and he's hopefully going to stay the fuck asleep. I love my cat. I do. I love him with all my heart, but he is testing my patience, and it is draining. It is draining. But I'm constantly in a mood of drainage because like every time I feel like as though he's in pain. It's like he could be in pain, and I don't even know. But I like to think that maybe he's not in pain. I mean, I've gone through a surgery before as well, and it was not painful, and I didn't take my pain meds like the whole time. Mainly because pain medication just normally doesn't work on me to begin with. So, nothing was painful. I didn't feel any pain or anything like that. And I was I think I got cut up more than Storm got cut up. I had my wisdom teeth removed, but it was like all 4. And then there was a time where I got, in my front, I got a tooth removed in the front of my gum because I had excess. So I had 2 extra teeth. And at that time, the wound was literally right there, and it did not hurt at all. I did not have any pain medication for that one. So, yeah. Also, I can describe to you what it feels like to get your gums cut. Because for that one, I was awake. Because it wasn't that much of a big procedure, like whatever. It was just the top of my gum right there. I was not put under. I probably should have been put under. I was panicking the fuck out. I was like breathing. my dentist had to literally go, you could breathe. Breathing is a thing. Do not make me put the gas mask on you. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And they're like, are you feeling something? Are you in pain? No, it just feels really weird. Yes, it did. The best way I could describe it is, I'm not going to describe it. I'm not going to describe it today. But, yeah, I'm like tired. Not just emotionally. He's testing me. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do my Valentine's Day stream tomorrow if I have to constantly be watching him because he keeps trying to lick his wounds. Anyways, as always, my ranger, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.